This is about new products and services and technologies that you may be offering. I'm sure this is going to be a really interesting one. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite topic of all the topics. So the biggest new service that we're offering is variable data services. In the past, that was limited to Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel mail merges, just variable text. With our WebCRD platform, we invested in the Dynamics module, which works with the Fusion Pro desktop software to create variable text templates, variable graphics templates, variable page layout templates. And it's opened a whole new world of opportunities for us. I'll list a few examples of pieces we've created, and then I'll talk briefly about where we're planning to go with the technology. One application we had was for digital photo frames. Sun Life's involved in a number of charitable events and sponsorship events. They take photos, the photos come back to us, we upload them into this frame. It has the text, the name of the event, the date. Marketing loves it. We can print them out, send them out. Another application we have for our customer-facing employees is customized employee contact sheets. These are keyed off of the employee ID number. That one number tells the template to go pull the photo for that employee, pull more data about that employee, their contact information, and we're able to generate very quickly hundreds of these customized contact sheets. A third application would be targeted marketing pieces. Employees are able to use our WebCRD software. We actually have some of our variable data pieces hosted as catalog items. So if they have, say, an Excel file of customer data, they can take that, upload it into a targeted marketing piece, check off what products are being offered, and have very effective campaigns. That was something that our implant was not involved with before. We've gone from just supporting existing business to being in a position to help bring new business into the company. It also helps having the ability to do really rapid prototype development. We had an application last year where there was a very short timeline for a very complex customized booklet to be sent out. We were able to program over 80 variable data rules that keyed off of 150 different variables. We finished on time, under budget. That would not have been possible with our legacy document generation systems that we have in place. Just really briefly, for the future, we're looking to capture business cards. We didn't have a platform before that could handle incoming business cards. With the WebCRD, they can customize it. What you see is what you get. We're also hoping to capture small jobs. Historically, our print center likes longer runs. It's not really cost effective for us to process a lot of small jobs right now. We actually have a minimum order fee in place to help recoup those costs. But we're planning to develop workflows that work with autoflow so that we can have hundreds and hundreds of small jobs come in, flow together, batch, print all at once, take it to the mail inserter, insert all at once, where we wouldn't be able to accommodate those workflows before.
So I guess we have a lot of different areas that we're trying to innovate in. A few things, we've been doing 3D printing facilities for quite a while now. And as that has grown on campus, we've seen kind of a need in our core curriculum, since that's where a lot of our support is based out of, is the curriculum. We are starting to teach 3D printing in those core curriculum classes in small MakerBot labs. But since we do support everybody once within the institution, we're starting to look at the fact that we're going to be having people coming out of this program, probably 300-400 students next year that are going to be expecting to be able to do self-service 3D printing. Right now, all of our 3D printing is bureau-based. They drop off a file, we print it for them. We get them to interact a little bit by with our resin-based printer. Is the support material is water soluble, so users can just we teach them how to dissolve that material, and we also have a paper-based printer that actually something I'm always interested in is combining the synergies of two-dimensional and three-dimensional printing and archival inkjet printing and whatnot. So we have a two-dimensional printing that uses 3-dimensional printer that uses 20-pound copy paper, and you can inkjet print on it and do full color 3D models based out of paper, and you can then cast those in and so students that are in our foundry classes can then take those and make molds and do castings of those 3D models. So those are all pretty exciting areas. Within our two-dimensional area, hopefully we don't encounter, it sounds kind of nice to not have to interact so much with students when you put a web-to-print submission system in place, because we spend a lot of time doing that right now. And I don't, but we're in the process of doing that, so that will definitely change the way that we do business there. But we're hoping to be able to, with our free time, provide more workshops. We already provide a lot of instructional materials to people that they can download, PDFs, whatnot, to kind of aid them in the process. We also provide, we do some authorizations for some of our self-service products like laser cutting. Students go through an authorization, 45-minute authorization process. In the past, we've done those in person in small groups of 10 to 12. We typically authorize about 800 students a year. So, and we have to shut down the lab every time we do that. So we've started to use some instructional learning tools, Canvas, to basically, we created online videos and tests to get them to go through that process, which frees up our lab. It allows people to learn at their own rate. They're able to watch videos and turn on closed captioning if they want to, and we're actually translating those into, Cantonese and, the various languages of our student groups, because that's a huge problem we have a pretty large international student base, and we try really hard not to make that a deterrent in their, especially first year. And yeah, I think there was one other point, but it escaped me, so.
We'll come back to you.
Well, in the area of new services, it really now comes down on what you do with the products that you're able to produce in such spectacular fashion now. I was talking earlier with Abbas, and I really believe that all the vendors have great color boxes right now, every single one of them. But what you can do with the product that comes off is where you try to seek the edge on the competition. And that means investing in creative finishing equipment in order to be able to produce the kind of documents that before this were only done in outside print shops and not in-house digital operations. So the advances in sizes of paper, the types of paper that you can run on the devices, and what you can do with them afterwards really is the key to some of the new services that we offer. I have to bring up the digital display service that we offer at MIT. It came about when MIT lost its mind one year and recommended that the entire campus stop printing altogether. And what happened is nobody was attending any events because there were no invitations going out on paper. And so suddenly they needed a way to get people to the events that they couldn't print invitations for. And they came up with the idea of using screens around campus to advertise. And we were at that spot where we were wondering where we were going to get revenue with all the Stop Printing campaign going on. And we developed a system in conjunction with our audiovisual department. They put in all of the hardware, and we manage the whole service of running slides 24 hours a day on 12 screens that are strategically located on campus. Students, faculty, staff can't miss the information on these displays where they're located. We charge 3 different tiers of pricing, the cheapest being for the students, the middle tier for the administration, and for all of the vendors who want to come on campus and recruit MIT students, they pay the premium price. This has been just a service that we literally can't keep up with. And for anybody who's looking for something to add revenue to your services, this is something honestly you should look into. If you're not able to put the investment in on hardware, partner with your audiovisual department, let them manage that, give them a split of the money that's collected, and it honestly is a great service. And it's really doing well, bigger and bigger every day.
Thanks, Abbas.
So in terms of new services, we just incorporated what I wouldn't call super wide format, but wide format offering. We've always been in the 42-inch space. We just migrated to a 64-inch space in the wide format world. So we acquired a 64-inch latex, 64-inch cutter plotter to cut shapes, to go with the wide format, and a 64-inch laminator mounter, so that we can play in that space. We also have added, or in the process of adding actually a specialty product offering for again, the space we want to play here in is not the institutional mark, but personal stuff. Things that you would buy online, personalized stuff. So we can do things like mugs and watches and clocks and coasters and this whole series of products, personalized products that are meant for personal use rather than commodities. So we just entered that space probably in the last few weeks. As the other big offering, actually, and this is not new, but I would encourage a lot of implants, especially if you're managing the outsourcing of product, is acquisition of the paper for the product that is outsourced. So we buy all the paper for. We outsource probably around $3 million, but we buy the paper on our account directly and ship it to the vendors. And we found that to be of tremendous benefit in terms of cost reduction, as well as defining a value for ourselves. That has been very, very productive and very helpful in actually reasserting ourselves into this market space. We are on the other lines of what you would call digital display. We also ended up with something, not a digital display, but displays for conferences and boards that are continuously at Penn State. It used to be managed by another department that really didn't want to do it any longer, and so the conference group basically was looking for somebody, and so we stepped in, and so now we actually supply most of the what you would call the display panels for any conferences that are at the institution. Again, it's not a value generating piece, but it as a service where and it improves the interaction, because we want to try to reach as many people in as many different ways as possible. We are in the process of putting in a new storefront for our student customers, which will actually work and look like a traditional storefront operation in the student union. That hopefully will come on in line in the next 4 months, which will pretty much be all glass, and you can kind of walk in and get a feeling of a more high-tech feeling, and encourage student interaction. Just, one other thing that I wanted to bring that I mentioned, that I did not mention earlier, is about being easy to do business with. It just occurred to me that, we've all talked about customers, but as in-plant, one of the things that we need to, that we have to consider more is not necessarily just the customer, but the support structure, the accounting groups and the administrative groups. And sometimes we try to work with the customers, but being an in-plant organization, we're not just serving customers. If the customers like us, but the supporting people for those customers don't like us because our administrative processes are not aligned, it can become very challenging. So we spend as much time working with developing administrative processes that cater to every department's need, rather as much as the customers as well. So.
Excellent. I'm going to start with Abbas and work our way up on the last question.
Can I,
Yes,
reflect?
yeah. You guys want to reflect or counter? Sure, we have time.
Well, not really reflect on, but I remembered my point.
Yes.
So, well, 2 points actually. So one point is the synologies of incorporating like fabrication, 3D modeling, and two-dimensional printing, more traditional. We've also started to look at laser cutters with iCut software to be able to, for product packaging, things like that. We can provide a two-dimensional print and then use the laser cutter to create creases, folds, or just die cut our shapes out. So that's something that's on the, we've implemented, and I look forward to starting to try to get some UV printing capabilities in-house so that we can really push, print directly onto acrylics and things like that. Another area really is a large part of our operation, really revenue-based anyways, and what we do is being in a art school, everybody prints, everybody hates it, supporting printers, but I get especially the self-service end of things because there's typically nobody there to support them when they need it the most. But we're currently, a large problem that we've had in the past is a lot of our advanced users are not necessarily happy, especially within our photo departments or print media departments, with just using, like we use EFI Colorproof XF on the back end of a Pharos unit print right now to capture that pricing and then release the jobs to that RIP, and then it processes files. So it's pretty automated, but we have a lot of advanced students that want to have control over the device, create their own custom ICC profiles as part of the course, but we need to be able to recapture our costs on supplies. So we've been working to implement Uniflow very hard for the last couple of years, and that allows us to use the native, which are traditionally bidirectional, Canon Garo drivers, and be able to use those and recapture our costs. I think is huge, and it really allows us to make our customers a lot happier because we're able to provide solutions to these ongoing problems for them. So that's it.